you could take one thing away from this whole thing, it would be this. Tell yourself it is me versus me. Always.
Welcome to the Resilient Reiner, the premier podcast focused on mental performance for equestrians and improved horse show performance. Whether you're a rookie reiner or a seasoned competitor, this show is for riders who want to take their skills to the next level and achieve their full potential in the show ring. I'm Nicole Burnett, and I'm a master mindset coach who's obsessed with helping you achieve all those horse dreams you always thought were impossible. Join me each week to develop a show-ready mindset and gain the competitive edge you need to compete with confidence.
Howdy, friends. Welcome back to the Resilient Reiner podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Burnett. I want to say thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hang out with me on this podcast. If you love this podcast, please share it with a friend, share it with someone who could benefit from this information. And if you're loving this content, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast, leave a sentence about something that was helpful to you or that resonated with you. It really helps me to be able to continue this work and to carry on reaching more people with this message. So thank you so much. Also, if you missed it, last week was the mini mental boot camp for riders. Whew, that was intense. That was awesome. We got into all the different mental skills that you need as a rider. Pop open the hood on what you need as a rider in order to succeed. What do you need besides time in the saddle? And I've gotten some really great feedback that's just really touched my heart about different ways of looking at things, different ways of approaching their riding. So thank you to those who participated. Thank you to those who took a moment to send me a message about how this helped you. It really matters, and it really makes my day when I get those messages. So thank you. It really touches my heart in the best way. Thank you. And if you love that or you want more, this week is the week that you can join the Mental Gym for Equestrians. This is my premier group coaching program where you come in, we work intensively together for a month. We do live coaching calls. You have so much support. We bust through your limiting beliefs and get you the mental toughness that elite riders rely upon to consistently perform. So this is the bomb, okay? It's so awesome. It's so transformative. And I would love to have you join us inside. So check out mentalgymforequestrians.com to join. Okay. It is time. It's time to deal with some of these uncomfortable feelings that are gonna come up when you're riding around. Okay? I know it's happened to me. It's happened to the folks I work with. I know for me, I can remember a time there I was just riding along, way too embarrassed to ask my horse to lope because I was pretty sure it was just not going to happen, right? I could ask for that lope, but it's not, it wasn't going to be pretty. And at that point, smooth loping, that was really just only happening in my dreams. And so anybody else, do you have a horse that would prefer to crow hop instead of just lope along? And now we're on the other side of that. I just love that feeling of sitting up tall, just breathing really deeply and feeling so steady and sure, just kissing and just picking up the prettiest little lope you ever did see. It feels so good. I don't know, maybe even better than iced coffee on a hot summer day. No, I don't know. That's probably going too far. But either way, I know that feeling, okay? I know the high and the low of just feeling jealous, feeling frustrated. I know this has come up with some folks I'm working with recently. So you are not alone if this comes up for you. If you start having that little gremlin of jealousy just raising its head, okay? So let me help you to help keep yourself in a good headspace while you get you and your four-legged partner all trained up. There were some mindset shifts, some specific mindset shifts that I had that were really critical to my success, and they really helped me to shift out of jealousy and into a more productive headspace where I could be grateful for my own journey, where I could be excited to get out there and just do the work to smooth out that lope. So here are 10 things that I would say to myself and that you can now say to yourself when that jealousy comes knocking and you start feeling really frustrated. So first thing I would say, this isn't a competition between me and anybody else. It is me versus me always. This is the biggest one, is really embracing that my journey is mine and that I am here to face off against myself. And can I be better than I was yesterday? And that's really at the heart of it, is recognizing that even if you're at a show, it is me versus me. It is you versus you. Always. That is the biggest one. If you could take one thing away from this whole thing, it would be this. Tell yourself it is me versus me. Always. Okay, another thing I tell myself. There is enough pie to share, okay? Or it's summertime, I'm telling my kids constantly, there is enough ice cream to go around, kids. Part of having an abundance mindset is knowing there is plenty of success to go around. Somebody else's, their horse's beautiful flowing mane and their smooth lope departure, it doesn't take away from the accomplishments that me and my horse have together. And that's really important to remember, is that there's enough success to go around. The third one that helps me on my better days is to remember that I want to be somebody that cheers for other people the way I love when folks cheer me on. It makes me feel so good when my family and my friends, when they cheer me on. It makes me feel so good if I have a really great run and somebody I don't know says, hey, that was a really great run. Like, good job. It feels so good. And I want to be that for somebody else. I want to be that encouragement for somebody else. If they're having a great run, I want to say, hey, you just killed it out there. Amazing job. If they're, having a rough go, I want to be the voice that encourages them to stick with it and be that, voice of encouragement and love and be like, hey, you can do it. Just don't give up. Okay. I want to be that for other people as well. Now, maybe you'll relate to this, but when I've gotten jealous in the past, I can get upset. I can think that my training plan is all wrong. It's not going to get us anywhere. It's totally trash. I've been known to occasionally get pissy and want to just throw in the towel and quit on all of this, okay? And as you can imagine, okay, who thinks that helped me and who thinks that was counterproductive? So if you voted counterproductive, you're correct, okay? This, of course, sabotaged my results, okay? And so I would remind myself of that and say, I am choosing in this moment, I'm now choosing to nope out of this unhelpful cycle. And so I would remind myself that, okay, that is certainly an option. And if I really need to, I can respond that way, but that I could also choose a different way. And that was really helpful to just remind myself that I've tried this. That wasn't helpful to act in that way. And now I'm doing something different that will get me the results that I want. Another thing that I would tell myself is I would remind myself that the grass isn't greener in their pasture. It's really not greener on their side of the fence. And that it's green wherever you're consistent. So if it's green over there, they're doing some really good things right. And that it can be green over here in my pasture through my own consistency. And you may or may not be able to be consistent with whatever somebody else is doing in their training plan. All right? Because people have different resources and different gifts, right? So they might have an indoor and you don't. There's all sorts of little things that really add up to differences in how somebody trains. They might live in a totally different climate, and that impacts how they ride, how they train. And you're also never guaranteed the same results, even if you try, because every horse and every horse rider duo, every combo is different. I'm sure you've seen it where, you just don't click with your horse, or you go if you're horse shopping and you're going to click with some and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I really want that horse. I really clicked. And you might try another horse in your horse shopping and you're like, oh, we really just didn't we didn't click together. It wasn't the same. Or you'll see a horse struggling and then somebody else gets on and they get totally different results, even though theoretically you're doing the same thing. It's just not the same. You're not guaranteed any sort of results. And so the best thing that you can do is just to be consistent in your own program and with yourself. Okay. The other thing that I would remind myself, because it's really hard on you emotionally when you're thinking things aren't going well for me right now and they're going really well for Sally Sue over there, okay? It's really hard. And so I would make sure to remind myself that I'm valuable and that I am enough right now. That might sound a little silly. It might sound, kind of out there, but it's really important to tell yourself those things, to speak life to yourself, and just to say, I am valuable. I am enough. It's okay. And just remind yourself of that. Remind yourself that you do have value. And paired with that, I would tell myself that it's okay to be frustrated. And then I would remind myself that feelings flow. I'm sure that you've had that feeling where, feelings just don't last. Okay. And that's kind of the thing. And so that's something that is part of my coaching that I work with people, is that to be able to separate yourself from your thoughts and from your emotions. They're really valuable tools. They're really helpful if you let them be helpful, but that you don't have to identify with every single thought. You don't have to identify with every single emotion. Every single thing that you think or feel is not always true. And so just reminding yourself that it's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be upset. You're frustrated because you're excited for the next phase of being a little more trained, okay? But just feelings won't last. So don't be going crazy off of a temporary feeling. Another one that was really helpful to me, and that is really helpful with folks that I share it with, is to just remind myself that the fact that somebody else is able to have success with their horse, that's proof to me. It's proof that it's possible for me too. And you can choose to be jealous, or you can choose to be inspired by it rather than let it tell me that I'm not good enough. Because again, everybody else's process is different, and you don't know how long they've been working in the background or what their sort of support system or, time restrictions are and how that compares to yours. But if they're able to have success, all it is it's proving that it's possible. It's proving that you can have a beautiful, clean lead change. Hallelujah. Maybe you're wondering if that was even possible at all. So it's just proof that it's possible. And that is very inspiring. And it's a lot more helpful to just focus on that inspiration. Another one that I've been leaning into a lot the more last year is I've had this realization that enjoying the process is more important to me than how fast my horse and I reach a certain training milestone. that has been really freeing to realize that I love the process. I really do. I love riding. I love training. I love going through all of these, just all the processes and milestones along the way and teaching them all of the things. I really love it. And I would rather be able to do that and enjoy the process than to have it go a little bit faster, but not having as much fun along the way. And so that was something that was really helpful to me. Maybe you don't resonate with that one at all. Maybe you're like, nope, I want to be there as fast as possible. No rest stops on this road trip. But if that's something that resonates with you, it's something that I want to say it out loud and let it be your permission slip to say, hey, you're in the driver's seat on this road trip with your horse. You get to decide what you want. Do you want to get there super fast? Are you willing to go a tiny bit slower and just really enjoy the journey? But you get to decide what that looks like for you. And that's really freeing because, again, you're taking more ownership and you become so much more empowered along the way because you're saying, hey, no, I'm choosing this. This is what I want to be doing. And it's pretty great. All right. And then the 10th thing that I would tell myself is that time passes whether I want it to pass or not. And time is kind of like your mind because it can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Okay. So the time's passing anyway. So I focus on just getting 1% better each day, just the tiniest, almost practically not noticeable amount of improvement every day, and just allow your results to compound over time to get some incredible results. And again, that's the power of consistency, is just allowing time to be your friend. So those are 10 things that I tell myself and that I have told myself and I love to share when jealousy is coming up. What do I tell myself? And these are 10 mindset shifts that are really critical to your success as a rider because we don't talk about jealousy a lot, but we're human, okay? We're human, which means that it's gonna come up and it's super normal, but do you have a plan for that? And how can you handle and process those feelings in a way that you honor them and then get a move on instead of getting stuck there because you don't know what to do with them? I know lately the it's me versus me has really been speaking the most to me personally. And I just remind myself that I'm the only rider that I need to be better than is the rider that I was yesterday. That is just on repeat for me, that the only rider I need to be better than is the rider I was yesterday. So I focus on my own progress and celebrating my personal victories, no matter how small. And I know this one is hard because when I work with folks, it's really common for people to be very uncomfortable celebrating their small wins, to celebrate the fact that their horse stood quietly while they mounted, or the fact that their horse offered one step of backing up just from a shift in weight. Like, it's really hard for folks to celebrate those small wins, and that is really important. So I'm going to say that out loud for sure. So which mindset shift is resonating the most with you? I always love to hear where folks are at and what is resonating the most with you. Send it to a friend who needs a mental reframe because, again, these are the things that are not as talked about but are still really important. Well, happy trails, folks. I'm so glad to hang out with you, and thanks for hanging out with me. Look forward to talking soon. Are you ready for the next step? Let me introduce you to something that will truly transform your riding experience: the mental gym for equestrians. If you found these mindset shifts helpful, just imagine what dedicated mental training can do for you and your horse. Come join me in the mental gym for equestrians and get the missing piece of your training plan to get your mind right so that you can just get out of your own way and just ride. It's a comprehensive program designed to build your mental strength, resilience, and focus, just like a physical workout builds your body. It's intense and you get a ton of coaching. There's limited spots, open to join this week only. See you inside. Happy trails.